All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Regina Cross, and I direct the Alumni Travel Program, Spartan Pathways, and I'm happy that you're able to join me today. If for some reason, like I said, if I freeze up, hopefully you'll still be able to hear me. What I do suggest to everyone is that you do remain on mute throughout the presentation. Um, the littlest thing your computer speakers will pick up on. So it's best to do that. For those of you that might not have taken part in our online directory, Bright Crowd, it's a great way for you to learn about your fellow travelers before you depart on the cruise. And if you haven't joined and you'd like to, please let me know, and I will send you a email to get started on that. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to introduce our host for the tour. Her name is Rosemary Risdale, and she works for University Advancement. Rosemary, would you like to say a few words?
Hi, I'm Rosemary Ridsdale and I work for University Advancement. I lead the IT team that supports UA, and I've been with the university for 8 years, and I'm looking forward to this trip with all of you.
Great, thank you. Next, I'll introduce Emily Dean. She is a client service manager with GoNext. I've worked with her for a number of years, and she's fantastic. And so once she finishes with her presentation, there'll be an opportunity for you to ask questions. You can also put that any question you have in the chat, and she'll address it once she's finished speaking. Also, too, after that, what I usually typically like to do is kind of go around and have everyone introduce themselves and say what your connection is with Michigan State, if you're a graduate, if you're just a friend of the university, what you're looking forward to on the trip, kind of, some of your accomplishments, what you had your career. That's nice to share with people. So we'll do that after the question and answer period. So go ahead, Emily, take it away.
Perfect. Thanks, Regina, and welcome everybody. Like Regina said, I'm going to talk about the cruise. There's a lot of good information. You're going to be receiving most of this information in your final documents, but it's easier to hear it when you say it out loud instead of reading it. So I'll go over some high touch points and we will do questions at the end. You will receive your final documents from GoNext approximately about maybe August 25th, August 26th. That is when they'll sent to you guys, and they'll come via email. Subject line will be final documents, Charismatic Canada, and then with your name in it. So if you don't have them by the 26th, like later in the afternoon, go ahead and give us a call and we can check to see why it's being held up. So in the final documents, you will have your Oceania cruise summary. This has good information on it. It'll have your flights. It tells you, the port address in case anybody needs to get to the port by a taxi or an Uber or whatever you're taking. It also has your dining venues, your shore excursions booked, and it has the itinerary on board. So it just has a lot of information. So I typically just take a picture of it or print it out, whatever works best for you. It's a good piece of paper to have. Another thing that we will send you is the general information on the cruise. It's just more like pre-cruise information, luggage, transfer stuff, just, what to expect, some of the top items. And on the front page of this is going to be a few phone numbers. The phone number that you're going to want to call in case of an emergency for the day of travel, it's going to be listed under the GoNext one. And our 1-800 number. So this is domestic. So if it is during business hours, feel free to call the normal 1-800 number and we will get you to our on-call agent. Otherwise, if it's after hours, call the 612-802-8255. 5560. Again, it's on the very first page of the general information. This is a cell phone. So if somebody doesn't answer right away, don't panic. They're probably just on the phone with somebody else. It'll be somebody that you've probably talked to on the phones if you've ever called in to Go Next. So if you have a flight change or you've made this change yourself at the airport, let's say they changed your flight number or whatever. It's always nice to know where you guys are at, even if you're on your own and you're not doing our pre-cruise. It's just nice to know when you guys are arriving. So if you've already made some changes, go ahead and just text that phone number and just let us know when you're coming, because the program managers, we do a head count for all of our Go Next passengers to make sure everybody has arrived. Another piece of information that would be on the final documents is if anybody has signed up for a pre or post cruise, there's a little more detailed information regarding those programs. And once you get to the programs, there'll be even more information. They usually have a whiteboard at the front of the hotel near their desk. And for each day, it'll say, breakfast is being served from 7 to 9 and be on the buses at 9:30. So just watch for that. Your program managers will also be listed in the general information page. Program managers for this trip is Maria and Lori. Maria is actually a Canadian citizen, so she has done this cruise multiple times, and so is Lori. She's from Colorado. But their profile is in there if you want to get to know them before you get on board the ship. People ask me about packing. I did look at the weather for this cruise. It's a little all over the place. I mean, right now, like you got to check as you get a little closer, but somewhere like the mid 50s, 60s, and there was a 70s, depending on where you guys are at each day. So for packing, I would just check the weather a few days before you're about ready to go. And if you're bringing 2 suitcases, it's always nice to put a little of each into each suitcase. So if one of your luggage is delayed, you at least have something in the other suitcase. And if you are only bringing 1 suitcase, it's always nice to put something in your carry-on just in case your luggage is delayed. This way you have something extra. Another thing to keep in your carry-on is any medication that you for sure need while you're traveling. If it's a vitamin or something and it can go in your suitcase, that's fine. But I'd keep any prescription medication in your carry-on. Another thing with prescription medication is they require it to be in the original pill bottle. I'm not saying you're going to get stopped, but it would sure be a bummer if they did take it away and it's something that you need. So they just like me to say that they'd like it in the original pill, prescription bottle just for the security checkpoints and such. And once you've landed at the airport, if your luggage is delayed at all, you're going to want to claim a ticket with the baggage claim area. This ticket will help us locate your luggage a lot faster. Without this ticket, it's not impossible, but it's much harder to find your luggage. So definitely, if your luggage is delayed at all, there's a little desk at each airport in the baggage claim area. Just file a claim. And if you're going on the pre-cruise, the program manager will start working on it right away with the airline. Or if you're going straight to the ship, the concierge or the program managers can also help you with this. You're in Canada, so if you want to alert your credit card companies or your bank cards to just let them know where you're traveling. Some companies are more finicky than others, and they just like to know where you're going or that you're going to be out of the country. Canada does have their own currency. They will take some US dollars in certain places. So with that being said, you can take out the Canadian dollar if you would like. However, 98% I think of places probably take a credit card these days. So I don't know that exchanging money is necessarily needed. You can take some, and if you don't want to take any, you can always exchange on board the ship. There's about I think a 5% fee. Otherwise, when you get into each port, there'll be banks and you could take it out there. So just make sure whatever you're going to be taking money out from, that you know the PIN numbers. And so now, once you've landed in your destination, you guys are going to go ahead. If you have an Oceania transfer, everybody's going to go to the same area no matter what you're doing. You're going to go to ground transportation. So just after you grab your luggage, look for the signs that say ground transportation. This is where if you are on an Oceania transfer, they will pick you up, and this is also where taxis are. So if you need the address to the hotel to get the taxi, that will be in your pre-cruise documents. That'll come in your final documents. And if you need address to the cruise ship, if you guys have booked your own flights, The address will be on the cruise summary. And like I said, if you have any questions about where any of this information is, you can call the on-call. If it's before that, you can just call one of our agents and we can walk you through all of this. Now you're going to be, once you get to the pier, they're going to take your luggage. So your cabins might not quite be ready. So if you want to keep anything with you, depending on what time you arrive, like if you need to take a pill at lunch or if you get there really early and you have a book to read, they do try to get the cabins ready as fast as possible for turnover so you guys can enjoy the cabins. But if they're not ready, just feel free to explore the insignia, take a look around. Anything that's open, feel free to wander around and go look at the library. Terrace Cafe is open for lunch, so go grab something to eat and just sit and have a relaxing time until they call your cabin. So they'll release them by decks. And so if they say deck 7 is ready, you guys can all go. If you're on deck 7, you can go to your room. One thing about your cabins, if you get there and your luggage isn't there, don't panic. It will be there. If you brought it from the airport and checked it in with Oceana, it will be in your room. It just might take a minute. When you're checking in at the pier, after you give them their luggage, you are going to get issued a world card. You will use this to get on and off the ship. You use it for purchases on board. It's your key card to get into your room. Oceana's cashless, so you'll just use this for everything. And if you didn't get luggage tags, you can get them at the pier. So no worry about luggage tags. They will put them on at the pier if you didn't receive any. Once you get on board the ship, if you're not on our pre-cruise, you can go ahead and if you're wandering around, deck 4 is where everything is. It's where our program managers have a desk. Concierge is right next door. And then on the other side of the grand staircase is the shore excursions desk and then the reception. So feel free to stop by and say hi to them. If you were not on the pre-cruise passengers will get your name badges there. And if you aren't, then you can get them on deck 4 with the program managers. And if you arrive and your room's ready and you're just tired and want to relax, we will bring them to the Go Next reception that night. So you'll get them at some point on the first day, just depending on what you guys are all doing. Let's see here. So in the staterooms, 110 volts, 220 volts. So you don't need an adapter if you're on board. And this is US. Now for the Montreal hotel, we might, if you have a question about an adapter, our agents would know that. And I could probably pop them up here and find out. But so on board the outlets, two 110s, two 220s, a USB-C outlet. If you have a CPAP machine, the nightstand plug is the 220 volts, so you might need an adapter for that. They have hair dryers, robes. They have large umbrellas in the room, so if there's going to be a little rain in the forecast, you can bring that out with you, or you can bring a smaller one if you want to just keep something in your backpack. Another thing that they have in the room, if anybody's been on a cruise before, when you are getting off each day for a shore excursion, they are usually handing out plastic water bottles. Oceana no longer hands out plastic water bottles. They give you it's like a metal water bottle in your room, and they put a carafe of water in there. They refill it throughout the day. And there's also filling stations on board the ship. So if you want to bring your own water bottle, go ahead, but they will supply a water bottle in your cabin. In your cabin, you will also have 2 internet services. So if there's 2 people in the room, you each will have your own login and you can be on it at the same time. Internet, you guys are pretty domestic here. So if you're out further in the ocean, the reception might be a little spotty, but I have never had any problems connecting to internet or doing emails or simple things. But if you think like if somebody needs to work or do a call like this, you might need to upgrade your package. But I'd wait till you get on board, see how it's working for you. And if you need to upgrade, you would do that with reception. Also in your cabin is going to be your shore excursion tickets. They're going to be in your vanity. in an envelope, and the tickets are going to be for the entire week. So if you're waitlisted for anything right now, this might be where you clear. There's still chances to clear before you guys get on the ship, but check your envelope, make sure you have all your tickets. And then if you were waitlisted on something, check that day to make sure you don't have two tickets for that day. Because if you were waitlisted and you cleared, they're just going to want you to cancel the one you don't want. So then go down to the destination service desk and cancel it. And the destination services desk, the first day is very busy, but don't let it discourage you. They have a lot of people the first day working the desk, and so it moves pretty fast. And people are usually just checking where they're at on the wait list. Another thing with your shore excursion tickets, what we like to do is if you want to travel with other Michigan State people, if you want to put an MSU in the corner or an MS, whatever you want in the corner, this means that if Rosemary's on a trip, a tour, and you guys are on that same tour, you guys are going to be on the same bus. And if nobody else from Michigan State is on that specific tour, you'll be with other Go Next passengers. And how this works is in the Insignia Lounge every morning, the program managers will have a desk. Oceana also has a desk. So you'll have met Maria and Lori by the first day. So the next morning when you go disembark for shore excursions, you'll see their faces. When they call your shore excursion, you bring your ticket up and then they give you a bus ticket. And then the cruise ship will make an announcement when those buses are ready to go. And then you guys will disembark at the same time. If you guys are exploring on your own, you are gonna maybe get off at a different time. And usually in their newsletter, it tells you what time, individual independent travelers can get off. Because there are a few tender ports on your guys' cruise. So it's definitely going to be time sensitive to like when everybody gets off. So just watch in the newsletter. The newsletter is called The Currents, and it's going to be in your cabin. They put it in your cabin every night at turn down service. It's a really nice, just tells you what's happening the next day. It tells you what port you're going into, what the weather's going to be, a little description about the port. It also tells you what time they're docking, what time you can get off the ship, what time you need to be back on the ship. There's emergency phone numbers, tells you when trivia is, if there's a lecture on board. Any activities for the day is going to be listed in here. So that's going to be in your room at night. We're going to talk a little bit about events. You guys do not have to memorize any of these. We will hand it out on board. It was probably sent to you, I don't know, maybe 90 days ago. It's your events for on board for Michigan State. So the first night is going to be our Go Next reception. This is where we have all of our schools in one room, and you guys will have your own area to get to know each other, and you'll meet the program managers. They'll go over what they're there to do for you. They're your onboard concierge. So anything you guys need, and when I say anything, I mean anything. They are there to help you if you're not happy with something or if something's not right in your room. Let them know and they will get it fixed right away. But you'll meet them then, and they'll go over a few other things about the ship and maybe some things that happen on the ship. So that's the first night. It's open bar, hot and cold canapes. The second night is going to be your reception. So that's in the Horizons Lounge, and that's for the Michigan State people. Again, you'll have your own area in the Horizons Lounge gated off for you guys. On September 15th is the captain's reception. Captain's reception happens throughout the ship wherever there's a bar, and it's for an hour usually. And if you want to see the show, like where the officers come out and the staff and they just do a little fun show, you'll just want to go to the lounge for that because that will happen in there. But if you don't want to, feel free to enjoy the captain's reception throughout the ship. September 20th, we are going to have a photo for you guys. This is where we'll bring the flag out, and we will, a lot of people like to wear your school colors this night, and we will take your photo at the bottom of the grand staircase, which is right by the program manager desk. So they'll take your picture, and then they will take you to the grand dining room for dinner that night. On the cruise also, probably the day at sea, we will fly your flag with the other school's flags. Some people like to know who is on the cruise as far as other associations. So I'm just going to tell you a few here. We have Georgia Tech, Iowa State, K-State, Mizzou, Notre Dame, Oklahoma State, Texas A&M, Texas Aggies, University of Washington, University of Wyoming, and Virginia Tech. So those are some of the schools on board. There are a few others, and usually we have a sign at the desk. If you are associated with anybody else, you can check. And if they don't have the sign up, they have a list of everybody that's on. So, Oceana is country club casual, and what this means to them is no shorts and no flip-flops. And this is in the grand dining room and specialty dining. And if anybody's been on Oceana before, they used to have a no jeans policy, but now their policy is if they're dressy jeans or dressy sneakers, you can wear them. So just use your best judgment. So yeah, jeans are now accepted in the specialty and the grand dining room. So some people ask if they need to dress up. There is no formal nights on board. However, people sometimes do dress up. Captain night maybe is a big night to dress up. If you want to dress up, again, not needed. So whatever you're comfortable with, go ahead and go with. For the rest of the ship, it's casual. Like you wear whatever you want, especially for shore excursions. Comfortable shoes, dress in layers. The mornings will be cool, warm up, as the day goes on, and then the nights will cool down again also. So definitely wear comfortable shoes, maybe some layers, and check the weather before. Laundry facilities on this ship are on deck 7. Decks, and they will have free soap and dryer sheets, and the laundry is included. Deck 7, the day at sea is a very busy day, so if you have any laundry, go ahead and try to do it before then. If you don't want to do laundry, they offer a service for a fee. In the closet, there's usually a hanger with the list of how much everything costs, so you can always do that also. And for restaurants on board the Insignia, you have the Polo and the Toscana. So a steakhouse and an Italian restaurant, both very good. So if you haven't made your specialty dining reservations by now, definitely go ahead and make them. If you have any questions about specialty dining, one of our agents can help you.
All right, talk later.
Specialty dining is just that, it's special. So if anybody has realized that you try to do a two-top table and you get pushed back to a later time, there's only so many two-top tables
What?
in each restaurant. So
What?
you'll have,
Yes.
can you mute yourself? I'm sorry. Okay. So so that's the specialty dining. And like I said, if you don't have what you want or you meet somebody on board and you want to try to make a change, in the mornings, in the Terrace Cafe, there's a maitre d' standing at the front, and they can help you try to switch your dining for that night. So you can always check with them if you decide and if you want to cancel something, definitely go ahead and cancel it. So then this leaves room for other people to move into those spots. Same with shore excursions. So if you're on a wait list and it hasn't cleared and it's towards the end of the sailing, there's still time to open up because people get on board and they realize that they've picked too much, or they just decided they don't want to do that long of an excursion. So there's always a possibility for change for shore excursions and for dining. In your cabins also, there's the TV. The TV acts as multiple things. It'll play any lectures that were on board. It goes into more descriptions on the shore excursions. It has your invoice on there. This is a big one. So I just always check my invoice to make sure that I'm not charged for anything else. And if you are, or if you think something's not yours, just go ahead and go to reception and they will work it out with you and figure it out. Reception's a very busy day the last day. So I just suggest looking at your invoice throughout the cruise to make sure these items are yours. Another thing on your invoice is going to be gratuities. So gratuities are $18 a day per person, and those are automatically put on there. If you want to give less, if you want to give more, or if you just want to give it to certain people and hand it out, that's fine. You just need to talk to reception about this, and they can go ahead and make the necessary changes. People ask me about tipping on shore excursions too. Again, tipping for shore excursions is your complete discretion. If you like the tour, understood, had good content, whatever you think. But people ask, so I always put it in these calls. So a full day, for a guide, $5, a driver, $3, a half-day tour, a guide, $3, and the driver, $2. Again, up to your discretion, not necessarily needed. And for disembarkation, a few days before you guys are going to disembark, you're going to get a letter. And this letter will just confirm, they want to confirm the flights you're on. And you guys just write down what you're doing. If you're doing the Go Next Post Cruise, if you're going on a flight, if you're extending on your own, they just want to know because they're going to give you a ticket to get off the ship. So so you'll get the ticket before, but the night before you disembark, you're going to put your luggage outside the door. So anything that you need for the next morning, keep with you. And you'll rejoin your luggage in the morning. But if you're getting off with the Go Next passengers for the post cruise, you guys will all get off together and get on a bus together. And you'll get the tickets and they'll tell you what time to be in the lounge. And then they'll call your ticket number. So let's say you're Blue 7, they call your ticket. Then you guys are going to go down into the area in Montreal at the port. And it's kind of like a baggage claim area. There's going to be little areas with your number. So if it's a Blue 7, it might just say 7, but the flag might be blue. Each port is different. So just look for your luggage. And then once you have located your luggage, go ahead and pull it out of the group. We will help you with your luggage, but we need to know what is yours so we can get it where it needs to go. Because if you don't pull your luggage out, it's not going to be with you. So just go ahead and grab your luggage, let a porter know like where you're going to, what you need help with, and they will go ahead and get it wherever you're going, a taxi, a bus, or whatnot. They can get that handled for you. So, and then if you're going on the post cruise, you'll do the tour. It'll be broke down, but usually when you leave the ship, you start your tour and then you go back to the hotel. So again, that'll be more in your final documents. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to give us a call and we can go over that too. Or when you're on board the ship, program managers, usually one of the program managers, depending on how big the group is, maybe both of them will be with you. But one of them will for sure be with you at the post cruise. So like I said, that's a lot of information. Most of it will be in the documents that are coming out on the 26th. But I'm going to open it up for questions. If anybody has any questions or if you want me to go over anything again, I'm happy to do so. Just going to have to unmute yourself or put it in the chat, whatever works for you.
Hi there. I just want to make sure that I understood you correctly. So when we land, in order to get to the port, in the information you're sending, we'll talk about the transfer process. Is that correct? We get our luggage, we go out to ground transportation, we look for the Oceana ground
Yeah, so
transportation.
they'll have a sign and
Okay.
it's a white sign with a big blue O. And if you go outside the terminal, because yeah, you do have an Oceana transfer. I just looked your name up. So
Mhm.
you will go outside and if they can get into baggage claim, they will come in that far. With the transfers though, if they're not inside baggage claim, just go right outside the door. And they are usually out there. One thing with the Oceana transfer, it's kind of like a hotel shuttle where it comes in intervals. So they have a few buses running back and forth from the port to the airport. So it might take like a couple minutes for a new bus to show up. But if you think you've waited too long for this transfer, go ahead and call the emergency phone number and they'll just let you know, like, I mean, it's New York, there might be a little traffic. So, but you can go ahead and call that emergency phone number and they send a text to dispatch and then we find out what's going on.
That was
Any
a
other
good.
questions?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
That was good information. Thanks. When it comes to dining, do we have to always make a reservation every day or not? Are there places that you don't have to make reservations?
Yeah, no, you can, just the two places for the reservations. The Terrace Cafe is open every night, and then the Grand Dining Room, it's a nice dining area. It's they got good food. Everywhere has good food actually. But you don't need reservations for there. It's just like a restaurant. If there's a group of you, you just go tell them there's 8 of us. If there's 2 of you, tell them there's 2 of you, and then they go ahead and seat you.
Thank you.
Yep.
We received an email a couple days ago that Bar Harbor is closed and we're going to be going to Eastport, Maine.
Yeah.
Are there going to be excursions at Eastport, Maine?
Yeah, they should be out already. I just made a change today for I think Rosemary. So I think they're out and if you go into your account online, you can probably select them. You can select them there. Otherwise, if you don't go into your account and you want help, call one of our agents and we can make the change for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Boarding passes, are we gonna print our own or are they gonna come in the packet?
Nope. So 24 hours beforehand, you're gonna, some airlines have an app. I find that the easiest to download the airline's app. And then you can check in 24 hours prior on the app. If they don't have an app, you can just go on your computer and check in. You can also check in at the airport. It might take a little longer to do it at the airport. So you can do it any of those ways 24 hours prior. On the final documents that we send you, your flight itinerary, if you booked with Oceana. Your flight itinerary is going to be on there. And then there's going to be a little section that says airline locator. And underneath that, each airline, if you're on two different airlines, each airline will have their own locator. So you'll just type in your last name with the locator and it'll bring you to your trip and it'll say it's time to check in. And usually, depending on what kind of phone you have or what the airline is, you can save the boarding pass to your wallet. I always take a screenshot too. I like to double myself up. So
I like paper.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I like paper too. My mom tells me I'm too young to like paper, and I'm like, I'm killing trees. I'm sorry.
There have been times where people's phones die right at the time of check-in, so it's always good
Yep.
to have a paper copy.
Yep. Yep.
So, yes. Any other questions?
Oh, yes. How large is this ship? About how many people are on this ship? Just curious.
It holds about 680 passengers. The sailing is close to sold out. There might be a few cabins left on board. And are you talking about length? How long is it?
No, just yeah, it's a big ship then, right?
I don't think they're that big of ships. I mean, depending on what you've cruised on before. To me, it's a smaller vessel.
Yeah, I think it's considered small to medium size.
There,
And
I
I've
do.
forgotten the length of it. I think it's what, 500 feet maybe? Or is that, am I getting that mixed up with the O class?
We've
I'm,
been doing the small ships with no more than 200 people. So
Okay, yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
So then, yeah, it's a little bit bigger. It's nothing overwhelming. And once you figure out which way you're going to either the front or the back, it's easy to figure out the rest of the ship. You know, I have the stats on it, but it does not tell me the length of this cruise ship.
Yeah, you can find that on the Oceana website if you
Yeah, I could Google it
would
too.
like to know.
one more question on the excursions. Is there usually transportation from the ship to over for the excursion or some of them are just walking distance?
So usually it's transportation. So when you get off the ship, the bus will be there. If it's a tender port, you will tender over to the pier and the bus will be there. So definitely going to be busing to wherever your excursion is.
Good.
I have a question. Are the flights already finalized so we can get seat assignments or not?
Yeah, so the preliminary air that was sent out around 100 days, that is usually the same flights you're going to be on unless there was a schedule change by the airline. So you can use that tentative flight schedule that was sent, a preliminary schedule that was sent out and try to log in there, and then you can see if you can assign seats. Now, if it says they don't recognize that locator, that might be because your flights have changed, but you can call us even before your final documents and then get what the new locator is, and then you can try to log in. Some airlines these days allow you to assign seats ahead of time. Some make you pay for seats and some make you wait for airport check-in. It just really depends on what carrier you're on.
Another question, does Oceana have an app or not?
They do not. They're working on one, but currently they do not.
And I have one more question.
Yeah.
I have dual citizenship, US and Canada. Do I have to do anything differently?
I don't think so. When you filled out your guest registration form, you would just put in there, you know, where you were born. And then they work off of that. If they have any questions, they would let you know. Like if we had any questions, we'd let you know ahead of time. But
Okay.
Maria is also a dual citizen and she doesn't do anything extra, so I'm assuming you don't either.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's a good question. So when we go on our excursions, we're gonna need to carry our passport when we're in Canada.
I would not. If you want to take a copy of your passport, a copy of your driver's license, I wouldn't carry your passport with you. I would put it in the safe in your room. Um, some people read that, they're going to collect your passports when you get on board the ship. Each port is different. And if for some reason Oceania needs your passport, they will do a call out the night before and say, can everybody bring their passports down to reception? And then you guys would meet in the lounge and then the authorities from that port would come on and check your passports, but you will not need them to get off the ship.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Regarding Eastport, so the Bar Harbor excursions we booked, I looked in my account earlier and there's no credit for those that were already paid. And then I also tried to sign up for the whale watching ones and it would not allow me to do it.
I would call our agents instead of going online. Sometimes they're online. We just had a call with them. They are working on a better online system, a better internet system, an app and all of that. But I would call one of our agents and have them help you. And they're probably still working on the refunds because they figure most people will probably pick a new shore excursion, so they probably
Sure.
haven't refunded. But if you can't get that whale one, call us and then we can log into their system and grab it for you. And then if there's any amount due, we can tell you. If there's a refund due, we'll tell you. Or if you don't want a new shore excursion, anybody, they'll be refunded.
Okay, and what number can I have the number I should call?
Yeah, it's 1-800
Okay.
842 wait, hang on, 90, I'm lying here. Yep, 9023. Sorry. 1-800 842 9023.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Yep.
I am full of questions. I
Good.
have quite a few prescriptions and I've never had a trouble flying. I don't use the bottles because it's just too many bottles.
Mhm.
Airports never had a problem. So what was the issue with the pill bottles? Is that the ports or is that the airlines?
It's the airport, so TSA. And like I said, I have only had one passenger ever get stuck, and it was in Japan. And they're much more finicky over there. So it's just something that Oceania has asked me to ask our passengers, just a reminder, because everywhere is going to have a pharmacy. So I also tell people if you want just to have a printout of your prescription. So if you need to go to a pharmacy, you know what milligram, you know the name of it. So it's usually not an issue, but it's just something, that they say we should say.
Okay,
So for precaution. So
thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, well, if you don't, or if you do, once we finish this meeting, feel free to reach out to Go Next, and they will answer your questions. Again, that number is 800 842 9023.
yes.
Yeah. I'm heading actually out on Oceania cruise on Friday, so I would tell you to respond to me, but I may not be available to do that. So, but they're excellent at answering your questions. They've been working with Oceania for a number of years now. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also too, this is being recorded. I may have mentioned that before. And so once I finalize editing the video, I will send you a link if you need to watch it again. If you missed something or forgotten what was said, then you'll have the opportunity to watch this again.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
going to jump
thank you
off,
so
but thank
much.
you everybody and enjoy your cruise. And you
Yeah.
too, Regina, have fun. If anybody has any questions, give us a call. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Emily. All right.
Yep.
Okay, now is the time that we go around and have people introduce themselves if you like. And I'll just start with Catherine DeVette. Is it pronounced DeVette? Okay, you have to unmute.
Sorry,
Let's
I thought
see.
I had
There we
unmuted.
Okay,
So, and you did pronounce my last name correctly.
okay,
I have a nickname of Reezy, which is spelled
Okay.
Reezie, which is a nickname from Catherine Marie, which I could not pronounce when I was small.
okay.
So, if you call me Catherine, I may respond, but I really respond if it's Ree or Reezy.
Okay.
I myself am not an alumnus of MSU, but my sister and her husband were, and I have done several trips with them. So that's what linked me into you. A lot of the family has graduated from MSU, so we have a lot of green and white and a lot of chatter that goes on when games are on and things like that, and paraphernalia, etc. I kind of enjoy the show, but don't necessarily enter into it a whole lot. My background is in healthcare. I was in the healthcare industry for over 40 years. Nurse by background. I did nursing. I taught nursing. I did hospital administration. I did work for a number of consulting organizations, that type of thing. When I retired, I decided I would focus more on family who supported me to have a wonderful professional life. And so I do a lot with that. And I have several volunteer types of activities that I'm involved in that I really enjoy. And really looking forward to this. And we'll connect with some people I know along the way, which will be really fun too.
Good. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, we have Sue Ellen.
Hello,
Hi.
my name is Sue Ellen, and that's what I go by. I'm a Michigan State graduate in home economics, which they don't use that word anymore, but that's what it was. It was in 1968. One of my fondest memories of Michigan State was Dr. Palucci, and she was just an amazing woman and very, very knowledgeable, and I just drank up what she was teaching us. I've had a long career of teaching. I've taught high school, I've taught community college, and university level. I taught nutrition science at the community college, and for the university, I taught education classes. People that wanted to become teachers, I was teaching those education classes and helping form new teachers. I retired like 2 weeks ago, and so I'm ready to go on a cruise.
Wonderful.
And that's just about it. I wrote down a few notes. That's why I keep looking over here. But that's who I
Okay.
am, and I got a really rotten cold right now, and I'm sure I'm going to be well when we cruise.
Okay.
But thank you for all
Wonderful.
your information and the way you keep up with us. It really helps a lot.
Okay, good. Oh, I'm glad. Okay, and then we have Dan.
Hi, I am her other half. I shouldn't
Okay.
say better half, but the other half. And not from Michigan State, so I don't have any alumni tags myself. But I've been a food service manager for school districts and stuff. I'm retired from Long Beach Unified School District. I was what you call an area manager for a long time.
Oh, wow. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we have another couple, and it just has the number of 9460217. That's what's showing. Do you want to unmute and say a few words? Yeah, I'm not sure you know. Yeah, I see a gentleman with a red shirt and a lady with a white shirt. Yes. I don't see your name, so yeah, there we go.
Okay. Hi, we're Dorian and Dennis Bollinger. I graduated from Michigan State way back when in liberal arts. I then got a graduate degree at Case Western Reserve in library science, and I worked in at the Medical College of Georgia, the University of Miami Medical Library, and then went up to Upjohn, which became Pharmacia, which became Pfizer, and retired from there. And we've been down in Tampa for 8 years now, helping with grandkids. And the last one is now in college, just went off to college. So now we're free to do whatever we want, so. And we
Good.
had taken the cruise to Australia, New Zealand last year, and we really enjoyed it, so we're adding this.
Oh, wonderful. All righty. Okay, and then Rosemary, would you like to say any parting words at all?
Sure. I'll just say a little bit about, my husband is going to be joining us as well on the trip. His name is Dean, and, I'm just really looking forward to it. We've been working hard, and so we're ready to have a little time down and look forward to meeting all of you in person.
Wonderful. Great.
Are there other individuals on the MSU cohort that are not attending this Zoom meeting today, or is this our cohort?
No, there's a total of, I think, is it 26 that are from Michigan State that will be.
It's 26, including myself and my husband.
Yes.
So 24 plus us.
Yes. And so I did send out information to everyone with the travel gifts. I don't know if you've received them yet. They were just sent, I think, the end of last week. So, or the beginning of this week. So you may not have gotten that, those packages yet. But within there, it does have a list of participants. So you should do that. And then you can also go on the online directory, the Bright Crowd online directory, and you'll also be able to learn about your fellow travelers. So, all right. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Go Next. Rosemary will be reaching out to you as well, leading up to the trip. So I wish you wonderful time, and go green.
White.
Take care.